big sporting weekend. David Brooke joining me from Sport24. Good morning. Welcome to Expresso.
Good morning to you, Lisa. It's a bit of a depressing morning, but
it is a depressing morning.
Yeah.
On lots of scales. South Africa netball world champs currently playing against Jamaica.
You know what? It's nice to see netball back in the headlines again. You know, I remember many years ago when Irene van Dijk was still in South Africa, when netball was like top of the agenda. You know, but these days, you know, a lot of politics went into it early on, but now they're back on track. They're back on the world stage, which is excellent. And they're at the World Netball Championships. They played Jamaica this morning. I think there's a couple of minutes still left in the game. Unfortunately, they're going down. But you know what? You know, the president backed the team. It's fantastic to see our national teams going overseas and doing the country proud.
And then a sad weekend.
Yeah.
I was at the Durban July when I heard the news.
Yeah, I saw pictures of the sunshine there while we were all freezing in Cape Town. But, you know, I was at the stadium and I've never felt an atmosphere like that when I've been to rugby. It was like a funeral almost. It was like an end of an era where somebody had passed away or something like that. And the Stormers just weren't allowed to play. The Crusaders were unbelievable. I mean, the game plan they stuck to their game plan. The Stormers had no way through their defence. They suffered a loss at halftime with Skalkberger. He fractured his thumb, which, you know, puts him in doubt for the Tri-Nations. But, you know, the Stormers just unfortunately didn't rock up. You know, now the final is between the Reds and Crusaders in Brisbane. 11:40 South African time. So I don't know if too many South Africans will be watching that because the Stormers aren't playing in it. But, you know, I think the top two teams have deserved it. It's been a long season. You know, the half of the Stormers team are on the hospital bed. You know, they've been injured. They've got no flanks left, you know. So it's been a long season. And so there's one more game left on this Saturday. And you know, I wouldn't mind the Crusaders now winning the tournament because they've had to go through so much with the earthquake at the beginning of the year. They weren't allowed to play any of their home matches, you know. So they've been travelling. Their coach, Todd Blackadder, yesterday joked at the press conference saying that they call themselves the travelling Wilburys. So, you know, they've been going around the world and they're like nomads at the moment. And they just go wherever they need to be and they go and win the games, which is great. Good luck to them.
And then Durban July this weekend. Lots of people were there for the fashion.
Yeah, the fashion was there, but you know, there was a sporting side to it as well, as normal with these horse races. And the favourite Igugu won, so the bookies were quite happy about that. But some sad news was Big City Life, who had to be euthanized. He got an injury just after the finish line. So he was a former winner of the actual July a couple of years ago. So very sad to see that kind of thing, but, you know, a good day for the bookies.
So Igugu, she was about 3 years old. He was about 3 years old, or is about 3 years old, I believe. Still a big favourite in future matches as well.
Yeah, Mike de Kock, he's one of the most successful trainers in South Africa. So he had another great win.
And then it was the finished business end, as Tank Lanning would say, of Wimbledon.
It's very spicy, as Tank would say.
Very spicy, yes.
So, yeah, there was a 21-year-old Czech Republic girl, Petra Kvitova, say that at 6:25 in the morning. She silenced the screamer, Maria Sharapova. You know, Sharapova was undoubtedly the favourite to win that final, but this 21-year-old left-hander, unbelievable, you know. So she won her first Grand Slam title. Sharapova has to go back to the drawing board now. The men's side of things, Novak Djokovic was just fantastic.
What a game,
what a match.
Yes.
You know, Djokovic went 2 sets up within just over an hour, which is unheard of against Nadal, especially. But Djokovic has been the form guy this year. He's lost just one game through the entire year. Before the game, he took over the #1 world ranking from Nadal. So that was a big psychological boost going into the final. Nadal came back in the 3rd set, and then Djokovic closed things out, and there was apparently massive celebrations in Serbia last night. So, you know, while the men's game is really flourishing, you know, there's 3 or 4 guys that can go and win Grand Slams. The women's game's a bit, you know, behind in terms of that. So to see a 21-year-old come in and win like that is good for their tour.
I watched an interview with her after the game, and she was just so humble and so blown away.
She's still got the pimples going on the face.
She had no makeup on, her hair wasn't combed.
There's no sponsor really, you know. She's no glamour girl yet, so you know it's good. You know, Lee Na won the French Open, so you know in terms of new winners, I think it's good. You know, the Williams sisters are coming to the end of their career. The Sharapovas, the Kleisters, also in the heyday. You know, so. The women's game needs it at the end of the day. And
then what other sporting events can we look forward to? I'm currently watching the Tour de France.
Yeah, well, there's the Neisner, there's the Big 5 Challenge, which Sport24 actually involved in. And then there's...
and I'm going down to the Pick and Pay Neisner Festival,
yes. Hopefully the weather will stay nice. Then the Tour de France, obviously. And this week, the Tri-Nations, the team gets announced on Saturday. So all the Springboks actually gather in Cape Town this week to assess the injuries and to see what's going on. So expect a big announcement on Saturday to see which players are being rested. I think a good indication of who is going to be in the World Cup squad.
Well, David, always great chatting to you. Thank you so much
for
giving us the sporting highlight. And then on Friday, one of the guys from Sport24 will join us again at the same time to give us a highlight on what to look forward to when it comes to sport over the weekend. Now, talking about sport, it's time to find out what is involved when it comes to training for tennis.